I would like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land we live on. I pay my respect to elders past, present, and emerging. I also extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today. My name is Edita and I work in the entry-level recruitment team for Services Australia. Today, I'm joined by my colleague Michelle, former graduates, Annie and Joel, and Bryden, who is a subject matter expert, and he's currently working at a core technology division. So we all together will help you answer any question and tell you a little bit about our program and what you can expect. So just to give you a reminder, if you have a question, put it in the chat. We will try to answer the best we can. And please don't hesitate to ask us anything. We also have a live questions and answers event that you can join. I'll put the details in the chat as well. So it will be from 12 to 2 tomorrow. So please join us if you want to find more about the program or if you have a specific questions. So Annie and Joe will give you a quick overview of the experience they had on the graduate program, and Bryden will give you a little bit about what you can expect after and what roles you can find at Services Australia. So you can find information if you scan QR code, and I don't want to repeat that. So I want to give you just a quick rundown on what makes Services Australia graduate program different. We only have 20 minutes. So our agency really does touch the lives of everyday Australians, and the work you do directly contributes to this. Our graduates undertake a service delivery rotation, which is specific for Services Australia, which the last few years has involved assisting on search work for the bushfires, floods, and COVID pandemic. Just to tell you how big it is as of 21st of March, over 968,000 claims worth over 1.5 billion has been paid to assist those affected by the floods. We have a national footprint. We are everywhere. Not all roles are based in Canberra. In 2022, 40% of roles were outside of Canberra. So we've got roles in major cities, but we also have roles in regional areas. For example, Dubbo, Port Macquarie, Wagga, Alice Springs. We also have CEO rotation. This is a 3 months placement that you can apply once you start your program. And as you can imagine, it's a fast-paced, you're helping CEO staff and you're helping to ensure we deliver the highest standard of service to Australians. We also have an amazing Indigenous and multicultural placement, which is unique to us, and my colleague Michelle will tell you more about that. Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks, Edita. I'm just going to talk about our Indigenous and multicultural placement, which is unique to Services Australia. This placement is up to 12 weeks for the graduates who are successful. The graduates can apply to undertake a placement in locations such as Alice Springs, Broome, Cairns, Darwin and Sydney. They go on regional and remote communities to help some of our most vulnerable customers. As part of the process, you are matched to a role by a stream and business area representative. Successful graduates head out to very remote locations to assist some of our most vulnerable customers to help them understand the services available to them. Every year we look forward to seeing the photos that the graduates send through, and one example of our favourite photos is sitting on milk crates under a tree, just helping people understand what services we can offer. We like to represent the community we serve, and we're committed to providing an inclusive workplace. We value our staff for their unique qualities, ideas and perspectives. I'd just like to share a few statistics with you about our agency. 24% of our staff in Services Australia are from culturally or linguistically diverse backgrounds. Oops, sorry, I've just lost my slide. 6% Indigenous employment with Services Australia. We are a gold star employer as recognised by the Australian Workplace Quality Index, and for our LGBTI plus workplace and inclusion. So there we go. That's about our Indigenous and multicultural placement. I'll hand over to one of the grads.
Annie, would you like to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. So hi, everybody. My name is Annie. I was a journalist graduate from the 2021 National Graduate Program at Services Australia. I'm originally from Melbourne, but I've relocated to Canberra for the graduate program. And I studied a Bachelor of Creative Arts, majoring in visual communication design. And during my first rotation, I was a governance support officer in the strategic partnerships and governance section in the health strategy branch. So I assisted with fostering the strategic relationships between Services Australia and the Department of Health. So I helped with engagement to support operational arrangement, and I also supported the team with coordinating and providing secretariat support to internal and external SCS level governance meetings. So a lot of our governance and administration work involved in my first team. For my second rotation in the graduate program, which is where I'm still now, I'm a technology designer in the Technology Innovation and Design team. In the ICT Innovation and Design branch. So because I studied graphic design in university, I wanted to kind of utilize my design skills to help other people. So I reached out to my current team and they were happy to have me. So normally I would do graphic design for the division, for my own team, for any teams that really just come to us. We're kind of like a consultancy team. If they require any graphics or any divisional communications as well, I help out with creating newsletters, things on SharePoint, Yammer, content. We also have a podcast called the TICcast. It's about technology and innovation. And we also kind of set up events in our little event space called the Technology Innovation Centre. So we would hold town halls, technology showcases and stuff like that. So yeah, I just wanted to stay in my second rotation because I wanted to utilize my graphic design skills, my photography skills, and I also wanted to improve on my motion graphics and animation, and just be surrounded by creativity and just innovation as well. And I also have a wonderful and supportive team with me, so I'm very thankful for that. And during our grad experience, we also got to experience surge work. As mentioned before, we would redeploy to help out with the Australian Government Disaster Recovery Payment telephony work to support Australians affected by the New South Wales floods and the WA cyclone disasters. We also helped out with processing COVID-19 disaster payments as well during the lockdown period. And it was a great opportunity for us to kind of see what work is on the front line. The face of Services Australia, being a part of it was really eye-opening, and getting to hear our customers' voices and stories, connecting with different people, and knowing that we were there to be able to help them during tough times was very fulfilling.
Sure. I can go next. I'm Joel. I'm from Adelaide, and I actually double-dipped on my graduate program and entry-level programs. I was studying computer science and a focus on statistics subjects here and there because I wanted to target a job in data science. But I decided to do some further study, and I found out about the Services Australia cadetship program, which let you study while you were finishing your degree. Being able to enter the public service was also a pretty big deal to me personally, because I wanted my job to be doing something that fundamentally helped people rather than for profits or private interests. And Services Australia was also an organisation, as well as fundamentally doing that, it was also big enough to offer data science work. So that was a balance of the two priorities for me. And it was also just great for me on a personal level. I was getting paid, I was getting work experience, and it even boosted my grades at uni. So if any of you are tossing up whether to do more study. You can also do the cadetship at the same time as finishing your studies. I moved on to the graduate program after the cadetship because it does finish at a higher level. And that was great. Both the cadetship and graduate programs feature study-based material. The cadetship, obviously, you have uni. And in the graduate program, you have the graduate diploma, the diploma of government, sorry, which isn't as big as uni, but you don't want to underestimate it either. But the highlight for me across both of those programs in the last 3 years has definitely just been the work that I do in general. Started out in the data analytics for policy teams that were trying to use explore the possibility and potential of using technology to assist with policy. And then I moved on to a team that used machine learning to process documents. So stuff like classifying the documents, assessing quality, extracting key information using entity extraction and optical character recognition. So it's all really interesting and challenging and fulfilling work for me. And it's also helped the organisation to process claims faster and in some cases even automatically. So I'm loving it here and I recommend it for anybody who is interested in that same kind of thing.
Thank you, Joel. Bryden, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience?
Yep. So I joined Services Australia in 2018 through the STEM program, so Science, Tech, Engineering, Maths. I did a Bachelor of Creative Industries where I majored in journalism and minored in music studies. And then I moved on to doing a master's in IT, where I majored in UX. And my placement through STEM was in the UX team, and I'm based up here in Brisbane now. So my experience with the UX team was both customer facing and staff facing. So we worked on like all the claims for students and stuff like that. And then in terms of staff facing, our processing platform, with the main focus being WCAG, which is Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. So basically ensuring that there is a minimum standard that everybody in Australia can use our site and our services. As part of the STEM sort of induction program, it was for about a year. I was very lucky. I was able to partake in the Innovation Challenge that year, which allowed me to travel down to Canberra and present in front of our CIO at the time and to a panel across a wider audience and pitch a cool new idea we came up with against other STEMs in different locations like Canberra and Adelaide. Since then, I've finished the STEM program. I've moved into a new role in what's called the Platform Remediation Team, which was started kind of ad hoc to ensure that Centrelink was running and stable because we were getting absolutely hit during COVID from all the claims and stuff, and ensuring that our systems were there for when people needed them. And that role has now morphed into, I'm an acting assistant director. I lead a small team. I've had the opportunity to have a cadet work under me, and she's now graduated and is now an APS 6 in her own right. I've taken on looking after and running a capstone program. So it's a QT, that's your final year of study. You do an industry placement basically. And I had a team that I ran the project for a year. My sort of day-to-day work involves a lot of monitoring of our systems through dashboards that we've created to understand what's going on. An analysis of that, and then explaining the ideas that we come up with as part of a team to general managers, which is quite high above us, and also just to people within different teams from us. So I'm very lucky in my role where I managed to touch and work with a whole range of teams all across Australia, working on a lot of really different pieces of technology. So we've got our older stuff, so the legacy systems, which is a huge transformation project we're working on, right up to sort of the new cutting edge stuff. In terms of, so that's sort of my pathway. I've been very lucky in the sense of I've had a massive experience and a very wide experience because I've said yes to a lot of opportunities that are offered. Some of my cohort have moved into different sort of divisions. They've gone down to cyber. Some of them are working in legal. Some of them are working just as developers, both front end, back end. They're people that are now doing sort of all types of analysis work, legal changes and analysis. I work with people that are now project managers, and that's just STEMs that I've spoken to. We've also obviously got our grad programs and our capstone programs. So for me, the variety and breadth of the experience that I've had, I had no idea I would have so many opportunities to, one, help Australia and Australians, but also for myself to develop skills that I never knew I had or wanted. I do a lot of data analysis work now, which is not something I studied at uni. I did creative industries and UX, but now I do data analysis, and it's just an amazing journey that I've been on. You'd be very fortunate if you managed to get into the organization.
Thank you, Bryden. So just to add a few more things, it's good that we still have a time. We are a large agency. We employ over 34,000 people, and for 2023, we expect to fill up to 250 positions and it will be a mix of generalist and professional positions. So if you think of applying, apply. Services Australia mission is simple. We are here to help Australians to progress through life. In return, we will develop you as a leader. We'll give you a range of experience and opportunities to kickstart your career in the Australian public service. So is there any question?
I did see one pop up in the chat, which we can run through quickly, Edita, which was just asking about opportunity for students who live outside of capital cities. Is there any hybrid or flexible working conditions? Maybe not necessarily in their grad year, but after that, or is it a requirement to relocate to capital cities, and particularly Canberra? You can give us some clarity on that, Edita.
Yeah, I'll try to do that quickly. Most of the positions, yes, they are in Canberra, but with COVID happening, we try to change, and 40% of roles were outside of Canberra. So for example, Joel is in Adelaide, Bryden is Brisbane. As I said, we've got national footprint. So if there's a business area, we do try to place graduates in that hometown. All depends of if they have enough support and things like that. Not necessarily that they have to relocate for the program.
Fantastic. I'm conscious of time, actually. A final question was, when do applications open? And Edita, right now?
They are open and they will close on 18th of April. So plenty of time to apply. Please apply. It's a fantastic program. And we have questions and answers tomorrow, 12 to 2.
Fantastic.
The link in a chat.
Fantastic.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Edita. Thanks to the Services Australia team. Let me just jump in very quickly. Thanks for your time today, particularly being on both the panel and now doing a presentation. And any follow-up questions?